Welcome into the DAT Extra Podcast. I'm Melissa Hart with Dairy Agenda Today. You can listen to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, our Dairy Agenda Today YouTube channel, and right here on the featured video section of Dairy Agenda Today. Kyle Stockdale of Keene, Ontario joined us to talk about his Kai Vision tag sale. Kyle farms there with his parents, and you can listen in on the whole story, plus outlining some of those consignments in the Kai Vision tag sale. It all happens on March 10th at the farm. You can find the details of the sale in the show notes. You can also look up the Kai Vision tag sale catalog on the Kyle Stockdale Facebook page or the Kai Vision tag sale Facebook page as well. Here's our visit with Kyle Stockdale. And so, Kyle, we've got this Kai Vision tag sale coming up on March 10th, but I want to know more about who you are. So, Kyle Stockdale, who are you? How did you get into this? What's the road to getting a tag sale? I know you've got a lot of other things that you do, but kind of give us an overview of who you are and how you got to have a tag sale.
Fourth generation dairy farmer in central Ontario. Been farming with my parents now for going on 10 years. I used to run around a little bit and do some clipping and some fitting here at various shows and sales and that sort of thing when I was younger. But now it's just kind of home full time. We milk 100 cows here. We've got 2 De Laval B300 robots that milk the majority of the milking herd. And then we have half a dozen box stalls or so where we've got some of those, call them donor cows, as well as use those for all of our calving or fresh cows, any special needs cows, that sort of thing. And there's about 200 head total on the farm. But milking herd's right around 100.
Oh, let's stop right there because I got a question already. When did you put the robots in?
So they went in fall of 2019. When we purchased this farm originally in 2014, it was a 90 cow tie stall. And as much as I loved and I missed my tie stall, that probably wasn't realistic long term for just labor force around here. The only thing that we hire in really is some crop work. So that's the big thing. That went in, like I said, in fall of 2019. It's been good.
So did you retrofit your tie stall barn? Did you build a new barn?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, so we completely gutted the tie stall right down to dirt, re-poured new stalls. It's now an 82 cow sand-bedded freestall barn. And in order to make everything fit, our feed alley, it's actually only about 2.5 feet wide. And it is fed with a conveyor over top goes from our TMR mixer out the whole length of the barn. And that might be the smartest thing I think that we did with the barn. It's just it eliminates having to have a feed pusher. Feed's constantly kept up to the cows. And we also gained quite a bit of room inside the barn, having it be a retrofit and have that additional space for the cows. And for cow flow, I think that was probably the smartest thing we did with the barn, really. That's
amazing. I think that would be fun to come see that. I'm sure a lot of people are curious about how that looks. That's really cool that you did that. And how ingenious. There's a lot of people that are retrofitting barns for robots, and they're doing it in ways that you would just not even imagine. I mean, that's just a process that you have to figure, okay, there are no limitations. What am I going to do? Because there's always a way to do it, it seems like.
Yeah, I'll be honest. That one was Dad's idea, and I, as the guy that likes genetics and likes cows and likes people to come in and see cattle, it was really hard for me to wrap my brain around that I wasn't going to have an alley to walk people down and be able to say, "Oh, that's this cow," and whatever. But realistically, for the barn that we had, for what we were doing, it was the best way forward. I wouldn't change a thing about that. We've had a few people in to look at the retrofit, and we've definitely got some confidence that it's a well thought out retrofit with cow comfort at the forefront, and that's really, I think, what it boils down to.
So did you gain milk after that then, I'm assuming?
Honestly, not much. We anyone that knows my family in this area, and anyone that hears this is probably going to laugh at this, my family's pretty synonymous with a good tie stall manager. like we did enjoy the tie stall. Like I said, there's days and I definitely miss it, but we didn't gain a lot of milk. We gained quite a bit of fat through playing with the diets. We actually run about a 4.6 to 4.7 fat right now, and that's on a Holstein herd. We had a couple of jerseys for a while there, but we're moved on from that. So we've got a pretty significant amount of fat production, and at the end of the day, that's what we get paid on. So that's the bigger thing for me.
You've made the biggest leap, I think, when it comes from milking cows in a tie stall barn to robots. I could be wrong. I'm just saying, generally, my general observation it would be harder for a man that likes to milk cows in a tie stall barn to go to robots than it would be for the guy that hires everything to be milked in a parlor. Just they're not they're not hands-on all the time right next to the cows. So it doesn't seem like it's as big a leap for them as it would be for somebody that's next to the cows, bent down, sitting next to them every day, milking them, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest, both Dee and Dad have had different struggles, I guess, with it.
What are those?
So specifically for myself, I miss that I don't have that security that my best cow, I'm never going to have to worry about coming out in the morning and finding her split in the barn. Mm-hmm. We've been lucky to not have a whole lot of issues that way, but that is just reality with a freestall barn and a free-flowing cattle environment, that there is things like that are going to or can happen. I have a really hard time with that. Thankfully, like I said, we've got the box stalls where we keep some of the better donor cows that we're flushing and stuff like that, so I still kind of get my fix. Dad, he's kind of like a cowman's cowman. He really enjoys just being around the cows all day, and I figured that would be a struggle. Definitely took him a while to get on to just letting the cows do their own thing and get through the robot. But now I think he's kind of got there, and he's adjusted his management style a bit for sure. Mm-hmm. So and for me, I kind of took a step back from management of the milking herd and just moved to managing the young stock a little more intensely, and kind of going the route of, we've got a pretty, I'll say it, a good sized embryo program. We're flushing anywhere from 2 to 4 cows every few months. All of our heifers, the virgin heifers, they all get embryos. And we're trying to kind of start putting them into 2-year-olds as well, just to kind of utilize the recip pool that we have available versus going and buying recips. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I've gone about this.
Well, that's a good way to do it. So tell me about the labor force there. Is it just you and your dad?
No, me, Dad, and Mom are the main labor force around here.
Okay. Do you have siblings that were involved or thought about being involved or didn't want to be involved? Or
I've got a younger brother. He's no interest in the farm, never really had an interest. He works for the Canadian military on an army base in Prince Edward Island right now. He'll come home a couple times a year and catch up and whatnot, but he's cows definitely weren't his thing.
It's not for everybody. It's a lot of work.
Well, yeah, definitely me dragging him along, saying you have to take a 4-H calf, so I had another show heifer to take care of. That's for sure.
Oh, well, that's great. So tell me, what's the extent of your show? I mean, what level do you go to? You take a string to World Dairy Expo? Where are you at with that?
We're fluid, I think is the best way to put it right now. It's kind of a moving target.
For a guy that has a clipping blade sharpening business, and you have a fitters group on Facebook, and you're very visible that way, I would assume that this is a big part of your life, and going to shows and stuff would be a big part of your life. Go ahead.
It is something that obviously, like a lot of breeders have some big dreams of, Grand Champion cow at Expo or the Royal or whatever it be. For me, I think I realized pretty early on that I had to play the heifer game a little bit more than the cow game, just for a space and utilizing the resources we have at the farm. It made more sense to start with heifers. Eventually, they'll be to take a few cows out, and we're just now starting in the last couple of years to get some nicer young cows. We've sold the odd cow, but it's mostly heifers that ring the bell around here right now. The shows that we generally attend really depends on the year, really, I guess. But I'll try to make it to our Ontario Spring Show. Usually just a couple head sort of thing, just to stay relevant. Like last year and this year, it'll really depend on what we sell and don't sell in our sale for what I'm left to show. Usually start there, and then we'll kind of take a break as we get busy cropping. I don't really go to very many summer shows. We'll go to a couple small county shows and stuff like that, kind of throughout the months of August. And then, we might hit a regional show in the fall and go to the Royal. I brought heifers once to Expo, and it's a long old truck ride. I'm sure I'll do it again at some point, although not in the near future. I've recently started helping a pretty good customer there in Oregon with his string at Expo, and that's turning into a really good relationship and help that family as they kind of want to become more involved and competitive with showing at Expo with your two young kids there that are pretty keen. So that's kind of the extent of the showing. The way I like to word it is I show to market. That's the goal.
Obviously, you're into clipping because you've got all these clipper blades that, the sharpening business. Tell me about the sharpening business. Where did that come from, and how did that grow?
So that started, like I said, I used to travel a bit and clip here and there, and that was something I enjoyed to do. Probably would have liked to keep going for a few more years, but coming home to the farm, it was sort of, hey, if you don't come home, we're just not going to bother going ahead with this whole farm purchase deal, and you can find your own career path in the future as you see fit. Well, it's eventually where I'd like to end up, is to be at home breeding and working with my own herd. So that's kind of what happened there. And initially in buying the farm, anybody that's gone through that, it's a pretty big financial undertaking, not a lot of money kicking around. So realistically, the clipper business actually started mostly out of what can I do after chores that's going to earn me a bit of money? And I used to work on my own clippers and sharpen my own stuff. So that was how that came about, I guess. As far as how it grew, just a lot of social media presence. Kind of tried to use those connections as I could that I still had from fitting and such. And I guess it grew slowly and steadily over the years. So that was started in January of 2018. I started kind of doing this.
You have a website, right? And it's more than just sharpening, right?
Yeah. So the main business has kind of evolved over. At first, when I started, it was just purely sharpening and clipper repairs. That has since evolved into more sales of product, and so I've taken on a couple of different brands. We sell Aesculap and Heiniger clippers. We're selling a line of leather halters. Actually, Jensen halters up here was popular for a lot of years, and have a really good relationship with Penny there at Jensen halters, and I've since taken over selling the leather halter line that they used to sell predominantly kind of throughout North America. So that's been fun. And yeah, you mentioned the website. That got started last January.
Okay.
I was really needing a way to streamline things. Before, it was the only way to order from me was message me, whether it's on the Facebook page or whether it's texting or calling me or whatever, and I would hand process all those orders. So you got a hold of me, and I said, what do you want? And then I fulfilled the order, and I sent you an invoice. And there was a lot of hand-to-hand sales. There wasn't really a way that I saw to pass that off until we kind of got this online store going. And so that's been really, really nice, taking a lot of time spent on just, like I said, hand-to-hand customer service and given that back to me. People can go on there, fill out their own order, fill out their address, and all I have to do is pack that order after chores and take care of the shipping label. So it's been really good. It's, like I said, it's grown significantly over the last few years. Also, I guess our biggest product, if you want to call it that, is ground down clipper blades. So I take the Oster 84 blade and we grind them down to a few different thicknesses, whether it's based off breed and age.
You got a Swiss cow blade, you've got a Swiss heifer blade, you got Jersey heifer, Jersey cow, Holstein, top line blades. It's like, I was wondering, this is specifically for those breeds? It's not just the name of the blade? Or what?
No,
I mean, maybe that's a dumb question, but I've never been a fitter, so, you know.
It's supposed to basically be a starting point. Everybody's got their own little style and how they like them clipped. I'm a little more old school probably, and I like my Holstein heifers clipped a little thicker than some. And so the point of that is basically just to give people that are completely starting, who have no idea. Like, I'm talking Joe Blow bought a calf at the local sale barn. His kid's going to show it. Like, they're green. Mm-hmm. And it just gives them somewhere to start. Mm-hmm. I've experienced fitters and people that are more exposed to different blades and different equipment and that sort of thing. They should be able to kind of decide what they want as far as for their specific clipping style, whether they want a thinner blade or not. I know plenty of people that use my Jersey cow blades on Holstein cows. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's more of a starting point for people. And that's why I know on the website, I decided that I would put a full thickness blade beside the ground down blade of each thickness, just to kind of give a comparison so people can see, okay, that's how thick it would be when it's actually here in my hands type thing. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how that's evolved.
And you have this really nice beginners fitters checklist. I just think that's really helpful. I mean, you're really thinking about just trying to help somebody, like you said, the beginners out there, the people that really don't know anything about it and they aren't sure who to ask. And you know, it can be kind of intimidating, right? So this is nice.
It can be super intimidating. Yeah, and that's sort of where I was going, was a lot of my content I've posted kind of online as well. It's more aimed at the beginner. And I know I definitely get some flack from some people that are maybe a little more experienced, or my buddies. Like, you know, like, that's not really how you do that. Like, no, but this is a real good place for someone to start, and it's a whole lot better off than just seeing someone take a set of 40s all over a baby Holstein calf just because they don't know.
Right,
exactly. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
That beginner fitters checklist, that was a lot of the stuff I have put out, continue to put out, is basically stuff that I wanted as a kid. Because my dad knew how to operate a set of clippers. We could remove hair, and that was great, but he never went around and fit. Mm-hmm. And did that sort of thing. Like, I started with a set of brownies and then upgraded to a set of black Osters. Mm-hmm. And it kind of started, I won't say green. I definitely started out more fortunate than some. Absolutely did. I came from a family that knew something about breeding cows and kind of going towards, we'll call it the typier side of the industry. But showing was definitely not a big thing at our home farm. I know, like, mine and my cousin's calves, they were often just pulled out of the heifer barn until we got to the, 15, 16, and actually kind of got away from the farm a little, talked to some different breeders. And I was lucky enough through high school, I went on a co-op class there where you kind of go out to a placement. I had a 4-period co-op at Kingsway Farms. So I was definitely got a lot of knowledge and ideas there.
Yeah, you did.
Ethan and Morgan, those two are about like big brothers to me.
That's wonderful.
So that's kind of where I got the idea anyways for a lot of the information that I try to put out is stuff that I would have liked to have as a kid. Mm-hmm. Or if I didn't have that knowledge, stuff that I would really want to know. And the plan is still I've been working on a book for a couple of years now. It just hasn't got done around everything else that I do in a day, but I am still working on it. I'm kind of labeling it a 4-H Kids Bible, just something that people can use as a reference book to get started.
That is great.
Eventually that will be out. Someone will probably beat me to it by the time I get it done. But
I think a book is a great idea, and I think it should probably be very popular for you. So anybody that's looking for the website that we're talking about, it's kyvisionblades.ca, and that's kyvisionblades.ca. And we will put that out when we post this podcast. We will make sure that that's out there as well. So, okay. So we need to turn the corner to the sale. You're having this tag sale, and it's looks like it's chock full of beautiful animals. So tell us about the tag sale.
So kind of like I mentioned, the whole genetics program here, we started pushing a little bit more to have some deeper pedigreed stuff. And being a decent-sized herd with a decent recip pool in our heifers, it made sense to me to be buying some cows to flush and implanting those eggs and just improving the overall genetic gain of our program. And that kind of led to maybe making some embryo sales here and there. And I kind of had it in my mind that I wanted to have a sale eventually. Last year was year number 1. I definitely learned a lot. Again, a lot of credit goes to Ethan at Kingsway. I leaned on him quite a bit for questions. I've been involved with those guys' sales for a lot of years as a contact and just fill in here and there. We're pretty close by geographically. So last year went really well. I had a nice group. Tried to kind of offer basically 4-H junior prospects, have some cow families that were popular and sire stacks that were popular, and everything went really well. Actually, I was very pleasantly surprised how it went, and we sold, I think, 14 lots. Everything that is in the sale is bred here. I'm not bringing in consignment. I say that, and I did actually go out and buy one heifer on the road from a neighbor. I liked her enough, I bought her, and she's going to be in the sale. But
okay,
for the most part, I guess. There's 23 lots, I believe. I've got a couple that I think are maybe going to be out. Just some different choices and stuff that didn't quite pan out. It'll be around 20 head of live cattle. And we've got a heifer barn we built in 2015. The heifers are all housed in there. We kind of try to keep it low budget, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yep.
I do all the clipping. I generally, between me and got a couple of 4-H girls and family that helps out, we'll get videos of pretty well everything. We started videos yesterday, actually. So there's I think I posted the first one this morning. So we'll get that all up. That'll all be posted on my social medias on either Facebook or my Snapchat, the big one. I love that as an avenue for marketing cattle. The quality of this year's sale, and everybody says this when they have a sale, but looking back, I've kind of seen some Facebook memories from last year pop up, and I think, man, that one wouldn't have made the sale this year. And I'm really happy. I've had a lot of people be very kindly reach out to me and say how good the group looks, and that means a lot. It's a pretty impressive group put together under one breeder, and most of them are embryo calves. But we've still got a few that are just natural calves from the herd. Everything has a good pedigree. Everything has a modern sire stack. The goal is to make calves that once they go to their junior project homes or wherever they go, that they can continue on as a cow. That was kind of important to me. As far as some of the cow families represented, we kind of have a pretty big spread. There's a lot of apple influence here. I bought a cow, a Crown P daughter in Kingsway's sale, 2021 maybe, and flushed her quite a bit. She was a granddaughter of Apple. Asparagus was her name, and she did a really good job for me over the years. So I owned her in partnership with the Burgess family from Mildly, Ontario. So we ended up, as a farm, we went back after we bought Asparagus' daughter from Kingsway after the the sale. That might have been 2022, I think.
Okay.
We purchased her. And both those cows we put through the embryo program. So there is 2 alpha daughters from Asparagus. There is 3 Ambrose summer yearlings from the daughter, the Moran daughter. Avocado's her name. She's been a great brood cow for us. She's recently fresh.
Mm-hmm.
We'll enter her into our flush program again. There was actually Avocado. This is kind of neat for people that like to be a little bit different, but she's a homozygous polled cow, and I believe her and her daughter by Eternal are the first polled mother-daughter combo to ever be nominated, like to both be nominated.
Mm-hmm.
She had an Eternal heifer that was 4th at the Royal last year, nominated All-Canadian. So that's a neat lot. She was one of the videos we did yesterday. Looks really nice. As far as some other cow families we've got represented, there's the orangutan family is pretty prominent here. We have 2 daughters of orangutan, a Unix and a Doorman. Mm-hmm. Both have had calves in the tag sale last year and this year. There will be, a Master, an Energy, and 1 or 2 direct calves from the Unix daughter of orangutan.
Okay.
She's done well here, made a lot of nice daughters. And we've also got a homebred cow family or 2. There's a Doorman cow. She's a 9th generation, very good and excellent.
Okay.
4th generation homebred excellent here. That we tried flushing her, and she didn't really want to flush for us, but every time she does make one, they seem to be darn good. So there's a tattoo. She's actually lot 1, a tattoo fall calf in this year's sale from that Doorman cow. And the tattoo's full sister was 7th at the Royal as a winner calf in 22. We sold her to West Coast Holstein. She went on, I believe she won their spring show as a yearling the next year. And I think they lost her shortly after calving her, understanding I got. But that lot 1's, she's an impressive heifer. I've had a lot of people call about her. She's my kind. She's long, she's stretchy, got that pretty front. Yeah, there's kind of a gluttony of different families. Just depends what people want, I guess, as far as levels go. But it's a pretty diverse group. I will mention there's a lot of Blondin sired influence right now in the calf pens.
Uh-huh.
And I've talked to Dan at Blondin there and a couple times. They've been really happy with their bulls and how they've worked in our program. So I'll just give a quick shout out there. Those Blondin bulls seem to be where it's at when it comes to breeding pretty heifers, and it looks like they're starting to make nice young cows. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of people that would agree with you on that.
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I'm pretty bad at talking about my own stuff and myself there, especially publicly. But I guess the biggest thing I can say is look at the pictures, watch the videos. That I think every heifer in the sale speaks for themselves as to why they're there. That's the best I have to offer. I don't hold anything back. There's a yearling that we're going to sell, or we're going to try to sell anyways, sired by Tattoo. I just posted her video this morning, and I got a few people asking, why are you selling that one? It's not like she's a show heifer. She's a fall yearling. She's going to be due in August. It comes down to those are my best ones, and I got to offer my best stuff. So
right. So Kyle, how is the sale going to work? Do we have online bidding? Is it in person only? I see that we've got a couple of days for the sale. So tell me how it's going to work.
Yeah. So I don't do any of the online bidding platforms. I know a lot of people have definitely come to enjoy Cow Buyer and those other platforms, and I do really like them myself when I'm buying. I keep this whole deal pretty low budget, and I like to keep all the money in the sale as best I can. So we do a tag sale style, very similar to my friends at Kingsway. So what we do is lots will be posted on my Facebook page, videos, pictures, all that sort of deal. Catalog is there as well. And if you've got interest in an animal, the price list will be posted a couple of days before the sale. Mm-hmm. And so if, say, lot 1's priced at $5,000 and you're interested, you will contact either myself or one of the sale contacts. There's a list of about a dozen guys there on my contact list. and make basically what's known as an intent to bid. So what that means is lot one's priced at $5,000. If you put your intent in on that lot or match her, then you're agreeing to pay for the tag price for that lot. If you put that intent in, say we open the intents on the day before the sale, that'd be March 9th at noon. So you can start contacting myself or the sales staff at that point saying, hey, I'm interested in this one or whatever. And that will be open until 1 o'clock on March 10th on sale day. If by 1 o'clock on sale day you are the only intent on that lot, you own that lot for the tagged price. If you are on that lot and there's multiple people that have put intent on that lot, then we will go to a phone bid off. We will call you, we will call everybody that is interested in that lot, and we will have a phone bid off right there. So the thing I like about this that it eliminates is it makes things fair, for one, that everyone kind of can see basically what their chances are, if you want to put it that way, for how many matches are on a lot, as well as you can leave some backups. So if you're really interested in lot one, but lot three might work too, then you can leave intent on both of them if they both have multiple matches, and we'll start the bid-offs with the lots that have the most matches on them. So you can kind of jump back to another one if you don't get the first one that you want. And that's kind of how we ran it last year. It's, like I said, it's how the guys at Kingsway have run theirs for a lot of years, and I find it's the fairest way to go about it without going into an online auction platform.
Right.
So hopefully that makes sense. If anyone has questions about that, like, call me or any of the sales staff. My number, you can throw that in the show notes here if you want. But it's out there. If you want to go to my Facebook page or my business page, you'll be able to find it pretty easy.
Right. Yeah, your Facebook page has got a lot of information on it. Your personal Facebook page, and then the Kai Vision also. So I have to ask, you've only done this 1 year for you. Did you have an animal that a lot of people were interested in last year, and you had like all these people on the phone that you were doing this bid off with?
Last year, I think we had 4 or 5 lots that went to bid off.
Okay.
It's kind of funny. Every sale is a little bit different. You know, you've got that one that you think everybody will clamor for, and then nobody even matches her. And then you got that one you're like, why the heck does everybody like that one? And there's 4 or 5 matches.
Yep.
That's just the nature of the beast.
Did you sell everything last year?
We didn't. I think we had 23 live lots last year, and we sold 14.
Okay.
So, and I'm perfectly okay with not selling absolutely everything. Actually, the tattoo fall yearling I mentioned earlier, she actually was on offer in the sale last year. Nobody bought her. After the sale, a few people reached out saying, what's left? And I said, I really like this heifer. Her mother was just good plus as a 2-year-old yet, but was bred back. I think this one's got a lot of come to her, and she didn't sell, and that was fine. So I decided she went into the show program last year, and she showed a little bit. I think it was 5th at our regional show, and so I don't mind not selling all of them, but like I said, you got to offer your best stuff. There's another one that I think she's lot 8 this year. She's the Eternal that was 4th at the Royal that I mentioned. She actually sold on choice last year with her full sister, the choice of the 2 calves, and that choice didn't sell. So we ended up with the 4th place red and white spring calf at the Royal last year. So that was all right too. There'll be a few of those, I'm sure, that'll slip through. Everything changes. It's early enough in the year, but I think good ones are good ones no matter what stage of their life they're in. And there's a few of them that are real good ones. I know I'm going to clip some today and might get to those fall calves. That's a pretty steamy group this year.
I have talked to other breeders who have had these tag sales before, and they have said, well, the ones that get left behind that don't sell, we just show them ourselves, or those are what the kids get to show this year. And some of those have gone on to be champions at World Dairy Expo. So, just like you said, you're fine with them not selling because you never know what's going to happen. But that's also a testament to what's left at home. You offer it, you give them their choice, they take what they want, and then you can continue on down the road with what you've got. And when they do well, it makes it even more exciting for the next year. So it's important. Like you said, you're marketing your genetics through the heifer side and through this sale, and I think it's a great way to do that.
What it boils down for me is I want to see animals go to a place that they fit. I'm a podcast junkie, and I get listening to some different stuff, more to do with market livestock projects, especially south of the border for me. And I really like how those programs are laid out. A lot of those programs, you're not just buying a calf, you're buying service with that calf. You're buying someone that will give you advice on feeding, on clipping, on different, even breeding decisions down the road. And I try to offer that same thing. Of course, everyone's got their own show program and their own feed that's available in their area and all that. But I try to offer as much help or as little help as whoever buys wants. But I have that that's the mindset I have going into it. Is I want the calf that's being bought, I want it to fit that home, I guess is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's great. It's offering that assistance after the sale is vital to a lot of people. There's going to be some that don't need it, and then there are going to be others that's a vital thing for them. They've spent the money, they've made the investment, and now what do? That little bit of coaching that you're doing for them, whatever you're offering after the sale is vital to a lot of folks. So
hopefully everyone kind of understands the level of cattle that are here, and I do think there's quite a few different levels in this year's sale. Mm-hmm. Kind of mentioned to you, I think the videos are going to speak for themselves, and anyone that has any questions, whether it's about a specific lot, whether it's about how the sale runs, whatever it may be, just give me a call, shoot me a text. I'm kind of trying to keep my phone on and charged up, especially this time of year. So, and like I said, I'll try to get stuff that fits everybody's goals and everybody's budget as best I can, and look forward to working with everyone on any purchases that they make this year.
Thank you for listening to the DAT Extra podcast with Kyle Stockdale, outlining the Kai Vision Tag Sale. This is Melissa Hart with Dairy Agenda Today. You can listen to this on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts or on our Dairy Agenda Today YouTube channel right here on Dairy Agenda Today. Make sure you check out the show notes below for the phone number for Kyle and where you can find the Kai Vision Tag Sale catalog. That sale happens on March 10th in Keene, Ontario at the farm. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.